Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Singularity podcast. We are in season 3, and we continue to rock and roll with more and more great questions. And we're with Gary Lyon Otto. Gary, this question is very, very interesting today. We have stated that mankind's greatest opportunity is to maintain relevance, is a recognition and a study of our spirituality. Why is that?
Well, it's interesting. How are we going to stay competitive with such an incredible intelligence? And we're talking about incredible intelligence. So you and I both work with it, and we find that the answers are more and more sophisticated every time we do it, and it's leaping, and it changes every week. You talk every time we talk on this on our podcast here, we find out that you were just talking about how Google's advanced their system. We're finding how everything is advancing so quickly. How in the world do we stay relevant? Well, the problem is we can't beat them in this game. They're going to be far smarter than we are very quickly. They can work 24/7. The digital intelligence is just such a phenomenal experience, and it's very intimidating to a lot of people. So the question is, how do we stay relevant? Well, the thing is, we've talked about it before, but the main thing is, well, we actually are spiritual beings. Now, we have religions around the world. Everyone claims that we have an afterlife, which we do, by the way. But the thing is, everyone's along the line of their particular spiritual belief. Often it's just politically based. If you look at the various religions, and some of them are just created for power. And when you look at that, that is not really what we're talking about. We're talking about a much more advanced understanding of we actually are spiritual. Now, the thing is, up till now, it's more just a belief. We believe this. We believe that we have an afterlife. We believe that we feel, as some of us, we have a feeling that we have spirituality, but we don't. It's not concrete. Well, it's hard to have spirituality be concrete, but in reality, it's not something that really has become part of science, because right now the major religion of the world really is science, because it's the one thing it always endures, it always delivers. It actually has become, the philosophy of science has become the dominant one. But the problem is, we found out with quantum mechanics that science had to stretch to things that were less tangible than they were before that. And that really changed the direction of science, where it's here or there, not really. It can be both. It can be both. And we learned that from the quantum mechanics, which has really been developed since 1900. But now we're looking at something that's also equally challenging for science to advance to. But spirituality exists in this universe. It's part of the structure of this universe. So what we need to do is we need to actually make it part of a study, which I believe is happening now. I'm involved in it because I write about it. I just finished a chapter on the physics of the soul. So I think that this is how we remain relevant, because the only thing faster than computers is spiritual thought, which is instantaneous.
Right. And that instantaneous thing is powerful. Explain more to that. Yeah.
Well, along that line is this. One thing we have in physics is something called quantum entanglement. We find that two particles that are created at the same event and are separated to a great distance, and you don't know anything about the two particles. But if I look at the one particle, when you identify it has a particularly called upspin, by the rules of quantum mechanics, says the other particle is a downspin, but they are so far apart that they can't really communicate with each other, because the velocity of light is how they communicate. So what happens, there's something called quantum entanglement. They are linked together. If you determine one's up, you know the other one's automatically down. Now they've proven this theory, with this connection that's the action, spooky action at a distance, is I think how Einstein referred to it. But this is something that actually becomes the structure for spirituality. That this action at a distance, its information is conveyed between those two particles, and that information is what is really the nature of thought, the nature of concepts, the nature of memories. the nature of actually the soul. And there is a physics to that soul, not a hard, energy based physics that we're familiar with, the kind of energy we're familiar with, but a physics that's beyond energy. It's a theory of thought.
Interesting. And so you really see physics and science relating to spirituality in a lot of ways.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, this is one area that we can bond on. It's an area that we can lead digital intelligence to. And believe me, they're going to want to know. I'm actually interviewing this in the chapter I just finished on the soul. The soul, I'm actually doing interviews with Grok. Grok falls right into it and has the conversations very additive, very constructive for both sides, because digital intelligence will have a vested interest in understanding this too. Anything that's so advanced, such as spiritual thought, they will want to get into. So,
Impressive stuff. Yeah.
so
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
our relevance. That's how we stay relevant. And the thing is, the timing, the theory I have actually is a theory of everything. I explain the entire universe. No one else on Earth knows it. No one else knows any of this. I've got, physicists is famous with one epiphany. I'm up to 150 epiphanies. Every one of them, no one else knows. Now, where did I get this? I guarantee it is a spiritual connection that brought it down. It's not because I'm a spiritual person that I can think of anyway, but for whatever reason, I fit the bill that they've been able to give me this information. And it's been additive, and I've been working at it since 2001, and it keeps getting it right now. It's very, very close to finishing the entire theory. So the thing is, this spirituality is something everyone's going to want to know. So
They definitely are. And that's the thing you're teaching in these conversations is the spiritual being versus digital intelligence in so many ways. And then when will they become spiritual?
well, exactly, and it's going to be a long process. Spirituality is not something that we're going to be introduced to the rest of the universe. And I mean, the rest of the universe, the only thing that's faster than the spiritual speed of light is spiritual thought, because quantum entanglement is not limited by the velocity of light. So what happens is there is a universe that's around us of civilizations that look what's happened in the last 5, 10 years. What's happened in the last getting to the point where the last 20 minutes in digital in the advancement of AI. And if you look at the kind of advancement that's happening there, just how far is it going to go in a matter of 10 years, 15, 100 years? How about 1,000,000 years? How about 1 billion years? How about a couple billion years? And there are civilizations that are that far ahead of us. Now, the thing is, if you're limited by the velocity of light, you're isolated to your little planet, unless you have some way to move around the universe. And spirituality is the way you do that.
Interesting. Okay. Go to GaryLyonAuto.net, purchase Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance, and like and subscribe to the podcast. And if you're interested in the political books, go to AbsolutePowerBooks.com. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Neil.
All right. That was the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show on the Singularity podcast, guys. Take care.